Tip off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clock's main event. Dropkick now and powerbomb. Ayo, bro, let's bring this on. Hey, hey, what is up? Oh, captain, my captain, show the stuff. Power slammer, suplex 2. Hot garbage is just for you. Beat breaker, cut a cold red. Figure 4, hot times ahead. Since 2014, it's on. It's a 10 count, but stand up strong. Hey kid, no DQ, strong style. Chop, this is how it do. Tom Clock's main event. Tom Clock's main event. Tom Clock's main event. Tom Clock's main event.
Hey, what's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. I have no idea what just happened with the intro of the show. I literally have no clue what just happened with the intro of my show. Did you guys catch that? That was some weird stuff. I have no idea what happened. We're going to have to fix that in post. You know what they say? If it happened live, it was not an accident. Isn't that what they say? If it happened live, it's meant to happen or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't an accident. I don't know. I don't really know, again, what happened. But you know what? It's going to be all right. Kids, welcome back to the show. My name's Tom. This is the main event. Going strong since 2014. This is episode 375. It's another landmark episode here for us. We're so glad you guys tuned in today. We got lots of stuff to talk about, and really, it's really up to you guys what you want to talk about for the most part. Yeah. But we're going to cover some stuff here today because this is the 5th, count 'em 5, edition of Open Floor Friday. As you guys know, if you've ever checked out the main event before, we always open the show up at the very end to open the floor up to questions, comments, words of wisdom. Well, this time out, again, 5th edition of Open Floor Friday, this edition of OFF, buddy, let me tell you, it's just, you're calling the shots. How fun is that? Do me a favor, kids, before we get started today, smash the like button for me. I would very much appreciate that. It means loads to me. Here's something else you can do for me. Like, follow, and share the show wherever you can, wherever you would. I would greatly appreciate it. As you guys know, this is brought to you by Boink Studios. We have a brand new show to tell you about, and I'll get to that here in just a bit. First episode of that little sucker went up. It's a YouTube exclusive show. We'll talk about that here shortly. But before we get too deep in the weeds, kids, again, smash the like button for me if you have not done so yet. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's see who's first to the table. Josh McManus. Good to see you, my friend. What's good, Ray? Thanks much for the kind words, and a good Mother's Day to yours as well. Robbie, what's going on? Good to see you. Eric Jackson is here. Sugar Shane in the house. JP, thanks much. Oh, yeah, well, her birthday was April 17th. So it's a while back. But yeah, I appreciate it. Again, kids, if you are not aware of the show, usually what we do here on the main event is we talk a whole lot about the pro wrestling, and something else that we do also here on the show is we ask quite a bit for you to smash the like button and to share the show on your feed, and to share it wherever you can on your social media channels. Would be greatly appreciated. And also do me a favor, check out boinkstudios.com. We'll run a little promo here in just a little bit to let you know what you can expect to find when you do visit boinkstudios.com. I had to readjust my settings here in the studio because I recorded something a little bit different. And again, I will get to that in just a scoosh, and we will talk about it. Let's see here. We're controlling things in real time. How about that? Yeah, I'm not happy with that. And is that where we want it? This moment of adjusting the screen brought to you by your friends at Tom Clark's Main Event. So a lot of stuff happening this week, kids, in the world of pro wrestling. And we've got a big show coming up tonight. NJPW Resurgence is happening tonight in Ontario, California at the Toyota Arena. We're going to talk about that just a little bit here today. And we'll talk about whatever else you guys want to touch on because, as we said before, it is, you guessed it, Open Floor Friday, number 5. So whatever you guys have, throw it out in the comments, baby. Let's get this show cranking out there. First of all, I hope you guys have had a good week as you guys start to type up your questions and send them to me. Hope you guys have had a great week. It's been okay for me. I don't have a whole lot to complain about. And besides, nobody would listen anyway. But you know what? It's going to be all right. I promise you. Fernando, good to see you, my friend. So Ray's asking about Rocky. Yeah, we've got to set that up. We've also got to get the new podcast set up. It's going to be myself, Big Tasty Ben Jackson, and we've also got Jay Lept and Joe Higgins from from Untitled Wrestling Podcast from Jay, and Damn It Vacant and Hallmark of Greatness from Joe, and also Big Tasty from Untitled Wrest Pod. But you also know Jay, Joe, and myself from Two Nations Under Ted Lasso Podcast. We're going to be reviewing another show soon. So it'll be a brand new podcast coming to you from Boink Studios. So there you go. Ray says thoughts on using the prosthetic leg on Collision. I thought it was a little okay. So a little harsh. Now I have not seen it. Now I did see that spot. Was it Montez Ford in WWE where a fan handed him his prosthetic leg? That was awesome. But I have not seen Collision. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not caught up from last night. So Zach, what's his name? This is the kid from WWE back in the day. I'm assuming the one-legged wrestler. I'm guessing, was he in the crowd? Boy, did I miss the show? Apparently, I did. Wow. Yeah, I don't. I have not seen that, so I'm not really up to date on what happened on Collision last night. However, tell me about it, Ray. Oh, Ricochet used it on him. Yeah. Look, as long as Zach's okay with it, I'm fine with it. I don't, we've seen weirder stuff from pro wrestling before. We've seen everything, we've seen guys get hit with all sorts of things in pro wrestling. Let me tell you something real quick. You guys remember Maven? You guys remember Maven? Tough Enough Dude. Eliminated Undertaker, Royal Rumble that year. He's got his own podcast now. And look, I don't hate on anybody, you guys know. But here's what I'll say. Have fun with the pod. All the success to you. This guy's like giving away trade secrets of the business. Have you seen this? He gives away secrets on his show. Like there's not a whole lot. I shouldn't say there's not a whole lot that hasn't been already been revealed, but there's a lot of stuff that has been revealed, right? About how things work behind the scenes and how they work. What you see on TV is not always what you think you're seeing on TV in these matches. Well, this guy's not holding back. He's even exposing thumbtacks and things like that. I don't understand why. And I don't know Maven, so this isn't a diss and this isn't a jab. Okay. This guy, I'm sure, has a pretty good size audience compared to me, and that's all good. That's fine. The grand scheme of things, I'm just one dude, one little podcaster, and I understand that. So this is not me taking a shot. But unless you're just looking for engagement, I don't really know why you're giving this stuff away. I just don't get it. And look, if you want to know badly enough what's happening behind the scenes and how the sausage is made, I guess if that's your thing, go ahead. And there's a lot of stuff that I've revealed here on the show in the past. To be fair, I've revealed a lot of stuff on the show here in the past as well, because I've, on whatever level you want to call it, the indie level, the regional level, small level here in North Carolina, I was in the business for a bit, and that's not me trying to flex or anything. I've been behind the curtain in a few different companies, and it's, and again, that's not me flexing. There's really nothing to flex about. I had fun. I met a lot of great people, really good people in the business, and made a friend here or there. But honestly, and again, I don't mean any offense by any of this. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. If you want to go learn all about it, that's fine too. But I just don't think as much as I know, and as much as I can figure out by looking at it, I don't know what the point is to tell the whole freaking world. I mean, I know why. It's engagement. It's downloads. It's subscribing to my podcast kind of thing. It's listen to my episode. Watch me talk, please. It's fine. I don't really care. It's kind of been sticking in the back of my head, and I just thought I'd mention it. JP says, wrestling is like a magic show. Knowing some of the secrets is fine, but you don't want to know all the secrets to spoil the fun. I couldn't agree more. I'm totally with you. I don't understand that either. I mean, I don't know why you would want, I just don't know why in the world you would want to know everything, right? Like, you go see a magic show. I'm not one of those guys that as soon as I'm out of the theater, get my phone and YouTube it to figure out how the magician did it. That's freaking weird to me. Is that weird to anybody else? I don't want to know, man. I don't want to know how the sausage is made. I don't understand again, if you're one of those people and you're watching my show or listening to it after the fact, that's fine. I'm not hating on you. I just don't understand it. I will tell you, for me, that's not me. I don't care about looking any of that stuff up. I don't want to see podcasts about it. I don't want to listen to podcasts about it. That's just me. Ray says, I don't like trade secrets. It's not cool, in my opinion, but to each their own. I agree. Robbie says, we have watched a lot of wrestlers being interviewed, cutting promos, and interview meaning your podcast. What is something a wrestler said about wrestling that you've taken as a life lesson or words of wisdom? Thank you for forcing me to segue, Robbie. No, and that's not I appreciate that. I didn't want to get too dragged down in the Maven stuff, so I appreciate that. That's a really, really good question. As I said, I've met some really great people in the business, and I think I can't say life lesson, but I would say the idea of just chill, just take it easy. You know what I mean? And I didn't get that from just one guy or gal. I got it from several people over the years, where it's like, I'd go up to somebody and I would have an idea, and some people are more receptive than others, for whatever reason they have, and wrestlers have their own reasons, workers have their own reasons for being receptive or closed-minded to things that you pitch to them behind the curtain. But for the most part, I didn't really ever run into anything weird, because I always made it known, because as someone who was, for lack of a better term, producing a match behind the scenes, it was my job to say, okay, here's what we want at the end, and here's a couple things I'd like to see, but the rest of it's up to you, because that's really how I felt. Because if you handcuff people too much, like there's this idea that, like, pin me and pay me, right? I get it, but at the same time, these are artists. From your high school gym to AEW to New Japan to WWE, in my opinion, you're an artist. Especially if you're doing the best you can to be as good as you can in the ring and on the mic and the total package and all that. You're an artist. Let artists create. When you try to stifle a creative force, you're not going to get anything. You get no return on investment when you try to stifle a creator. Let that creator create. Let them do what they do best. Tell them what the goal is. Tell them what the milestone is, what the strategy is, right? But let them help create the strategy. Does that make sense? So if I have to boil it down, and maybe it's something will pop into my head, but if I had to boil it down, and again, I got this from more than one town over the years, just chill, man. Just breathe. Let's have fun. More importantly, let's have fun. Let me just boil it down to that. No matter what you're doing, try to have fun with it. And that's not hard to do in the world right now. I totally understand. And it's not hard to do when you're looking for a job. I totally understand that too. But at the same time, man, if everything is depressing and down and droll and you're just constantly hanging your head, I don't know, man. But I just don't see good things coming from that. Sorry to get so long-winded. Ray says Sky Blue is back. Is she healed? Because I'd love to see her come back as a babyface, because they got a lot of heels in that. Yeah, she's going to return at Beach Break. And let's see, first time in nearly 10 months. She'll be coming back Wednesday, May 14th, part of a 4-way Women's World Title Eliminator bout, also featuring Toni Storm and 2 competitors yet to be revealed. Storm laid out the challenge for another title eliminator bout in her show opening promo on Coliseum. So there you go. I'm looking forward to it. Zach Gowen, that was the last name. Yeah. By the way, how's Zach looking these days? He look good? I haven't checked up on the guy in years. I like Zach Gowen a lot. I liked him when he was in WWE. One of the best promos I ever heard. And this is high praise, not because it comes from me. Who am I? It's high praise coming from somebody who's watched a lot of wrestling and grew up watching Dusty. Okay. This is one of the best promos I heard. He was in the ring against the old dude that used to be in WWE, and now he's basically a scumbag. I don't care. I'll throw heaters. I don't care. I know what he is. You guys know what he is. Sorry. But it was when they had their little thing back and forth, and he's trying to intimidate him. He's using the Mr. McMahon voice, and he's growling at him in the ring. And Zach do you remember this? YouTube it if you haven't seen it. Zach gets nose to nose with him in the ring and talks about, the things he went through as a kid, surgeries and losing his leg and stuff. And he goes, I'll butcher this. He says, I've seen fear. I know what fear is, and you're not it. And I'm like, that was awesome. That made my day, man. That was one of the best things I've ever heard on the mic in a pro wrestling ring ever, ever. I really, truly freaking enjoyed that. I've seen Fear, yeah, and you're not it. Love it. I wanted to use that in a promo before. I never forgot it, actually, honestly. Such good stuff. JP says, I can't wait for Sky Blue to come back. She looked awesome in the promo last night, coming back evil. Yeah, the evil thing's fine. If it's me, I just prefer her as a baby face. That's just me talking. Fernando says, Maven feels jaded. That's why he's giving away secrets, just like remember when Jose Canseco threw baseball under the bus because he felt he was blackballed by baseball. Steroid era. I watched the McGuire Sosa thing in real time. It was McGuire, Sosa, and Ken Griffey Jr. for a bit until Griffey kind of fell off the count, and it was just Sosa and McGuire. And it's like, yeah. I mean, you know, the joke was the bat looked like it was this big because their arms were massive, and it's like the bat was like that big sticking up because, you know what I mean? These muscle-bound dudes. I mean, you can't make a blanket statement about everybody, so I'm not, okay? But for the most part, it is extraordinarily hard, or it is extraordinarily much harder for a man as he gets older to pack on muscle, much less get ripped. Not impossible, not impossible. And it varies from man to man to man, but it is harder. And McGuire went from being a normal sized dude to being the Incredible Hulk in no time. Canseco did too. Like we didn't know. Like the Bash Brothers, remember that? Like we didn't know. Sugar Shane says, I finally got internet in my area. It's been a long time coming. What app do you recommend for wrestling content, especially the old stuff? That's a tough one. I've got wrestling apps on my phone right now. I know maybe, Shane, you don't think of Ring of Honor as being sort of your jam because you and I are probably about the same age and we grew up on the territories. But the Honor Club app has all of the Ring of Honor content back to when the company first started. So if you wanted to watch some throwback with some guys in their prime, like Joe and AJ, that's just one thing. YouTube, you can find some classic matches. You know, at one time, WWE Network had, you know, NWA and had WCW and had, you know, now whatever they're doing on Peacock at this point, I couldn't tell you. I've not dove into Peacock to really see. Does anybody else know? I do have Peacock and I'll watch it for occasionally, but I've not dove into their classic content. But at one time, WWE Network had a lot of classic content. So you may, you know what, if you want to do like a free trial, or if it's offered, or if you just want to pay for a month and then cancel it, maybe you can go through there and check out the archives for WWE and see what all they offer. Just know that for a lot of those older videos, they've put vertical bars up on the sides that usually says WWE. Not on every video, but it's because the screen size is different, right? It's formatted differently. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. Because, you know, McMahon's on that library. They own every tape library, to my knowledge. I can't say every one of them, but they own the majority of those old libraries. It's tough, man. It's tough. Yeah, sorry I'm not more help on that, but I do. By the way, the New Japan app, Shane, again, I know maybe it's not exactly your jam, but remember that company started in 72, and they've got every match since 72 that was televised, I believe, on their app. So you've got old school territory guys traveling to Japan. That's pretty cool. So that's something to think about. Some of those old broadcasts are probably not in English, but it doesn't really matter. You can still have the volume up and enjoy the show. I mean, commentary adds to it, right? It always does. But I don't necessarily need it to enjoy a match, if I'm being honest. Just a few ideas for you to maybe think over. Byron Sesford, what's up, my friend? AW Glasgow in August. So excited to have them on your doorstep. Good for you, brother. I assume you're going. Good for you, man. Go check it out. Have you seen AW Live before, Byron? I haven't seen AW Live in a few years. Can I be honest? I just haven't gone to any live shows. I'd love to. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to. It's just a matter of having time in your schedule. And, I've had a lot of going on personal and work related for the past couple of years. It's been tough. It's not been impossible. It's just been tough. I'm not complaining. I don't have a whole lot to complain about. You know what I mean? It's not who I am. Oh, JP, thanks for the update. Peacock has everything that the old WWE network had. Fantastic. I did dive into Peacock because, again, as I say, I do have the streamer. Well, I watch it for some other programming. But it's been a while since I dove in. And to be fair, again, it's been a while, right? To be fair. So at the time when I looked at them, like it felt very sparse. But now that you say it's all there, oh, that's pretty cool. They put on a good show, Byron. I was there in year one when they first came to Charlotte with the first time AEW came to Charlotte. I was there at the place called Bojangles Coliseum. Used to be Bojangles Arena. Used to be the original Charlotte Coliseum. Smaller place, right? But it was AEW year one. I didn't expect the place to be sold out, and it wasn't. Not by a long shot was it sold out. I didn't expect it. And then the second time I went to Charlotte, much bigger crowd. And then, of course, I was in Chicago when Punk came back and wrestled his first match back in the business against Darby Allin. That was a heck of a show. I've been to some good shows, but, I'm not one of these guys that travels the country. Good on you if you can afford that. I think that's great, man. It's very cool. I'd love to be that guy. JP says, I wanted to get tickets to AW Fighter Fest coming to Denver on June 4th, but for a single ticket, costs $147 a person for the cheapest. Really? Wow. That's whatever seat it is. Is it that expensive? I didn't know AW to have jumped up that high, man. I know WWE's tickets are freaking embarrassing. Renee says, you hear about dog collar match between Macklin and Eric Young? I saw clips of it. It looked amazing. I have yet to watch the whole thing. Ryan says, as long as Will Ospreay is there, got to support a local bro. Good for you, man. Good on you. Yeah. Byron, you're across the pond. Who do you support? Who do you have in the Premier League? We might have talked about this. I started supporting Aston Villa last year, which I caught grief for because Jay Luft, shout out Jay Luft. You guys know him from Two Nations Under Ted Lasso podcast and the Untitled Wrestling podcast. Jay is a big excuse me. He'll kill me for that. Newcastle. Big Tasty Ben Jackson is a big Liverpool guy. Yeah. So we were doing the TED show, and at the time, like I was really getting into the Premier League, and I was just watching whatever games were coming on each weekend. And then I try to follow up with interviews and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I need a team. I said, pick me a team. I said, because I didn't know. And I said, I don't want to jump on the bag one. Because at the time, City was the king, right? City, not so much down the road. But the time City was the undisputed. They were the team to beat. Every time, I mean, and you know this story, if you know English football. City was a team to beat, man. Because they would lose the whole game and come back in like the last 90 seconds. And you're like, how do they keep doing this? So I'm like, I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of a winner. Give me a team that is full of a lot of young, good players who may be a contender in a year or two, who are on the uptick. And Jay's like, then you should try Villa. So I jumped on. And I can't sit here and tell you, I can't name off all the roster because I haven't committed fully, but I try to watch every Villa match that comes on that I have access to. That's a whole lot of talking just to talk a little bit about English football. Byron says, massive Newcastle United fan. There you go. Fernandez says, what are your thoughts on all the releases about WWE and most of them being women? They've got a lot of women. And I'll tell you something else. This ID thing they have, in this show they have, WWE likes to get younger unless it's the main event guys. There's talk of Goldberg coming back. You heard this, right? Goldberg and Gunther. I'm not making it up. It's true. Don't know if it'll happen, but that's the buzz. That's the rumor, right? They want to get young all the time. And unless you're talking about their main event level guys, then they'll bring back Undertaker for a spot. They'll bring back Austin. They'll bring back Rock. They'll bring back DX again. And, and look, if any of you kids are hardcore WWE fans, good on you. I'm not slamming you, but I can slam that company if I want to. I'm not here for it anymore. There's just too much with that company that I just can't sign off on at this point. But that's me talking. No one else has to agree with that. But look, every year after Mania, they release people. We knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. It just took a little bit longer than maybe we expected. I don't like anyone to lose their jobs unless you physically did something, because as I've said on this show multiple times here in the past, and I haven't changed my tune, kids, always support the talent. Don't support the company. Okay. Don't support the billionaire owners. There's no future in it ever. Always support the talent, which I always do. Right. So I don't want to see any talent lose their jobs unless, of course, as I said, they did something heinous against somebody else or to a fan or something, or they're just, again, it's got to be bad. Right. And then if so, I'm probably tapping out, right, on that person. But no, I hated to see it. I hope they all land on their feet. I saw that Cora Jade's already opened an OnlyFans account. Good for her. Hope she has a ton of success with it. That's something else I don't get is dudes, namely white dudes, hating on women every time they want to show a little bit of skin. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Okay? It's not your business anyway. And if you're so against it, just don't pay for the OnlyFans. Don't look up the pictures. Don't talk. You know what I mean? You're free to talk about what you want to. You're free to do whatever you want to, at least for now. But if you don't like something, don't watch it. I don't understand that desire that people have. I won't soapbox too long. Just give me a sec. I just don't like the idea of, well, these are my beliefs and this is my faith and this is my religion, for lack of a better word, and these are my morals, and I'm going to project them on everybody I run into and everybody I see on my TV and in the movies and in music and on the radio and everywhere else. Then you're going to be disappointed a lot. Because, it's not up to you to project your stuff on other people, man. That's your stuff. And it's good that you have your stuff. Have your stuff and be happy with it and enjoy it. But it's not your call to tell other people how to live. So Cora Jade wants to open 2 OnlyFans accounts. I don't care. It's fine with me. Again, good luck with it. She's in charge. It's not a promoter taking advantage. It's not someone suggesting that she wears some booty shorts tonight in the ring. It's her owning her body and owning what she wants to do with it. I say go do your thing. Brian says, what's your thoughts on potential female bloodline with Naomi? And I'm fine with it. I've never been sold on Nia Jax, and it's no disrespect. Again, don't know the person, don't know the woman. I don't care, but I've just never been sold on her. I've never believed she's that good in the ring. I've never believed she's that much of a worker. The cockiness that I see sometimes, it's fine. I don't care. She's not insulting me, and if she did, I wouldn't care about that either. It's just weird. I guess a lot of that comes from who the family is and how much that company loves her family, and that's all good. But I'm sorry, in my opinion, you can't compare her to any of the Anoa'i family that's ever blown through that company before on any level. They will. They'll try to convince you that she's blah, 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 whatever. Hey, whatever. Not me. I'm not buying it. Okay? Just not buying it. I just don't care about it. So if they want to do it, I love Naomi. And Naomi is fantastic. So if they want to do something, do it. I don't care. But I just rather them. Remember how long they talked about this bloodline thing? Does anybody remember how long they talked about it? Or the rumors swirled for 6 months before they actually ever did it? And then after that, it was, when are they going to put the women? It's cool with me. Do it. I think women should be a part of a major stable, right? Cool with me. Just pull the trigger or don't. That would be my answer. And long way for me to tell you, I'm cool with whatever they want to do. Robbie says, it seems the next crown jewel is going to be the land down under. Hope this is going to be the start of new things to come. I agree with that. New things to come. They need more freedom from ground jewel, and Saudi Arabia wasn't giving them that. Well, Saudi Arabia was giving them a whole bunch of money. Whole bunch of money. That's all they cared about. Kids, we're at the bottom of the hour at this point, and I'm not going to miss any of your comments. But before we go any farther, let's do this.
Boink Studios is the home of Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Visit the site today for links to every podcast platform, social media, special announcements, and a lot more. Check out the site and bookmark today, boinkstudios.com.
All right. I may have taken a sip to hydrate, to rehydrate, right? And I got a little choked up. That's the dangers of live TV, baby. The dangers of live TV. Go check out boinkstudios.com, kids. B-O-I-N-K, Boink Studios. And I'm going to throw something else here at you before we go any farther. Is everyone watching the show right now subscribing to the YouTube? Because if the answer is no, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. Unless something changes at some point, and you never say never, my content is not locked behind a paywall. You follow me on YouTube, turn on your notifications. That'd mean loads to me. Again, I'm not asking for any. I don't want $5 from you. Could things change? Because I at some point use that buy me a cup of coffee gimmick. Maybe. I love coffee, by the way. But right now, I'm not doing any of that stuff. If you will, go to the YouTube on your app or on your desktop, wherever you happen to be right now. And if you've not subscribed, free to subscribe, please do so. That would mean loads to me. I won't blow up your phone. I'm not going to message you privately on YouTube. Nothing crazy. But it would mean a lot to me if you guys did that. I enjoy doing this stuff. I'm not getting paid to be here, right? So the only thing I've ever asked anybody that's ever engaged with my content is just give me a like, give me a share, give me a follow. That's all. That's all I've ever asked. If you guys could do that, you guys be awesome. JP says next Wednesday in Chicago, AEW is doing a tribute to Steve Mongo McMichael. Good for them. I was never a big Mongo McMichael guy. I kind of felt like Flair always thought he fit in perfectly with the Horsemen. I completely disagreed. Mongo wasn't much of a worker, but his personality, larger than life. And I don't think anybody really ever had anything bad to say about the guy. Lost for his family, right? And his fans. So all the best to them. Hate that everything happened the way it happened, but he's forever got a place in the history of the Four Horsemen. That's big. That's big. And what's more important than all that is his family and everything, the people that loved him and knew him best. But in terms of professionally speaking, and plus he was a Super Bowl champion as well, right? So guy had a big career, man. Can't take anything away from him. So good for him. Good for them for doing this for him, because the other company's not going to do it. They're just not, because he wasn't one of their guys. And even if they acknowledge it, they're not going to go out of their way to talk too awful much about it. Byron, thank you for subscribing. He also says, I think Naomi had more success as Trinity in TNA. Her match with Jordan Grace was epic. Yeah, I loved it. I think she has the most upside of a lot of the women in that company. I just love her. The life and the vitality, and she's very athletic and she's smart in the ring. Great personality. I just don't see many negatives about Naomi at all. JP says Mongo was much better. Remember he had the little dog? What did he call the dog? Was it Chi-Chi? What was it? Maybe it wasn't Chi-Chi. He had a little dog. Remember that? Byron says, if you get a chance, take a look at Scottish promotion, ICW. But yeah, I've seen ICW before. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen ICW before. So back when Walter was, this is over the top rope, or over the top wrestling. You know what I mean, right? It's that. I always get the name of the company wrong. It was when, who's the dude that was running around with Judgment Day, little dude? The match he had with Walter was fantastic. It was just the hype video they created for that match was freaking fantastic. Fantastic. I can't remember the guy's name now. You guys know what I'm talking about. Jordan Devlin. Right? Yeah. Good stuff. I've seen some ICW stuff in the past. Yeah. Will said Chico. I like Chi-Chi better, but you know what? It was Chico. Good job. Good job. Let's talk a little bit right now about Resurgence. If you guys know anything about Resurgence, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence event that is happening tonight in Ontario, California. JP says Pepe was the dog's name. All right, well, there you go. We've got Alan Breeze versus CJ Tino in a strong survivor match. Fred Rosser versus, I interviewed Fred Rosser a few years back. Good guy. Versus Matt Vandegrift in a singles match. Bullet Club War Dogs, which, by the way, they have run, but they didn't run them out. But the House of Torture is no longer Bullet Club faction. So that happened in Pro Wrestling Dontonku. Good for them. I'm glad the right guys won, put it that way. But tonight, Bullet Club War Dogs, David Finley, Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors, and Gato versus the Young Bucks, Matt, Nick Jackson, and the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. Ooh, that'll be interesting, right? 8-man tag team match. The world-class Wrecking Crew of Royce Isaacs and Jarrell Nelson versus United Empire of TJP and Templar Rio. Templar Rio is freaking wonderful. If you've not seen him, holy Lord. He and Desperado had a great match in Japan last week. Really, really good match. Konosuke Takeshita versus El Phantasmo for the Never Openweight Championship. I love both those guys, and I kind of hope Phantasmo beats him. We'll see. Tomohiro Ishii versus Drilla Maloney for the Strong Openweight Championship. Yeah, that's Drilla Maloney's to win, I think. And I love Ishii. I don't want them to ever tap out on Ishii because he's a veteran, because he'll surprisingly still win matches. Who did he pin and nobody saw it coming? At least I didn't see it coming. I can't remember it now. Whoever it was he pinned. I love Ishii. I always have. Mercedes Moné versus AZM versus Mina Shirakawa. Through a match for the Strong Women's Championship. Hard to imagine Mercedes losing that match. And then Hiroki Goto defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Zack Sabre Jr., former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And again, that's tonight, Toyota Arena in Ontario, California. Looking forward to this. Can't wait to see the show. If I don't watch it tonight, I'll probably watch it tomorrow. I got a buddy of mine I'm hanging out with tomorrow, so we shall see. We shall see. All right. Well, there you have it for Resurgence. What else you guys want to talk about here today? Let's do a couple more things. Catch up on some of the news. Let's see here. Matt Hardy and a mystery tag team partner to challenge for the TNA Tag Team Championships at Under Siege on Friday, May 23rd against Ryan and Nick Nemeth. Indy Hartwell's in-ring debut booked for next TNA Impact. That'll be good. Zach Gowen is looking pretty good, isn't he? Ricochet will be working him next week at Beach Break. That'll be interesting. TNA is co-producing the Border Brawl event featuring ex-WWE talent. Canada versus USA. Don't even get me started. Yeah. They're capitalizing on it. Good for them. Yeah, good for them. Hope they make some money at it. I like TNA. I like that they're still here. I just hope that WWE doesn't, and it's weird to keep teasing this possibility that WWE is going to buy them, because we haven't had anything written in stone. No real, leads, no real indication that WWE is going to suck them up and absorb them. But would it really surprise you if they did? Be honest. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I hope they don't. There you go. What else have we got going on, kids? Jeff Hardy was banned for entering Canada for some reason. Jeez. Yeah, it's always something, isn't it? I'm not sure what the reason is. At least I don't think so. Let's see here. Jeff Hardy. Yep, I don't have anything in front of me for that. Jeff is unable to compete in Canada due to legal reasons is all I got. So there you go. I'm not going to speculate on that. Sometimes speculation is fine in certain events, but when it comes to a guy's legal issues or legal drama, I'm not going to jump into that one. Not going to jump into that one. Sugar Shane says, if Paul Heyman would reform the Dangerous Alliance, who'd you like to see with Steph and Braun Breaker? I'd like to see Awesome. I mean, the theory is theory, right? I mean, it's fine. I just wouldn't call it Dangerous Alliance. I think we can move on and call it something else. Let this be Seth's group, right? Let him come up with it. It'll be a corporate thing. They got to make money off of it and copyright it. It won't be Seth's thing. I don't know. I mean, it seems like Becky Lynch would make the most sense to put her with him. Austin would be fine. I mean, you've got the showboat, the showman, the great worker with Seth. You've got you got the muscle with Breaker. Do you need like a high flyer now? Maybe. Who would you put in that spot if it was a high flyer? You know what I mean? Big question. I hope it goes somewhere. With Paul Heyman at involved, it can't help but go somewhere, right? The boys at home, where'd you go, Ray? The boys at home being a little bum right now. My wife's blowing my phone up. Not very happy with our son because he's acting a certain kind of way. So I'm not Catholic. So it doesn't affect me a whole lot personally, but I think it's fine. It's a weird thing to talk about, but it is open for Friday. Yeah, I'd be fine. I mean, I'm fine with this new pope. I don't really know a whole lot about the guy. I know some of his views going into being chosen that I agree with. But again, I'm not Catholic. It's not. I don't really have a dog in the hunt, as they say. Maria's late. It's okay. He says the extreme force could be the name of Seth's group. Yeah. Yeah. JP says they aren't really doing anything with Fury or Waller for a long time. Yeah, that's what I understand. That's what I hear. Ray, don't even get me started. By the way, Mattel is a country. Did you guys know that? What are we doing? What are we doing? I just don't get it. It's hard to keep things quiet sometimes. Hard to keep things quiet sometimes. Maria says, what are your thoughts on WWE signing Alberto Del Rio? Well, that kind of maybe affects Paige's possible comeback, you think? Never say never. Money talks. And that's not me suggesting that the former Saraya, now Paige, is only out for cash. But buddy, money talks. So if anything could make it better, possibly cash could. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I don't think, again, me speculating and making comments on a guy that I don't know. I'm not here to slander anybody. But from things that we know and things that we've heard, it doesn't maybe look like he's such a great dude. There again, never met him. Maybe he's awesome. But there's sort of some danger / warning signs that he's not such a good dude. Saying that's me being politically correct. Ray's hitting us early here, kids. DOS effects or EPMD? That's a toss-up. To me, that's a tie. Part 2, Rex in Effect or Naughty by Nature. I've never been a Naughty by Nature guy. I respect them. Much more Rex in Effect. Adam Cole invites you to the grand opening of the Adam Cole Heating and Air Conditioning store where you get free air conditioner or heater. I got Central Air, and as long as it works, I'm good. That thing's only a few years old. Knock on wood, it's fine. So I'm good on that score. And yes, I would. Barbecued brisket, crispy tater, tasty fries. Yes, of course, as always. E says, should Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C., or Canada become the 51st state? I don't know what the holdup has ever been, and I've lived here my whole life. Don't know what the holdup has ever been on D.C. D.C. is a District of Columbia, right? It's never been a state. There are reasons for that I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to research, and I'm sure I used to know it at any given time. It'd make more sense for that to happen than anything else. These are distractions, E. We don't have to get into it, but you know they're distractions. They're terrible distractions. They're embarrassing and they're horrible and they're juvenile. And they're tasteless, and many times they're horrific. But they are all distractions to get everybody looking the other way. Rob says, you and the boy been to many live wrestling shows over the years. What was the first live show you two went to, and how did the boy enjoy it? I don't know which one it was. I think it was just a Raw in Charlotte. But my kid was a big John Cena kid. So we had the John Cena shirt and everything. And when John came out, I got him on video just going crazy. So I always appreciated that. It was just a random Monday Night Raw. And then he and I have been to others. We went to the Crockett Cup when it was Nick Aldis versus Marty Skrull for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And then we've been to Ring of Honor. We've been to see Evolve Pro Wrestling back before they were ever bought by WWE. Been to see AEW together. Yeah, been to see somebody else. Never been to a TNA show. Can't remember now who else we've been to see. I miss going. He doesn't care about it anymore. Honestly. JP says they could keep Paige and Alberto Del Rio on separate shows and they would never have to see each other. Yeah, but as we said with AEW, with Punk and the Bucks, why? Like, if it's that big of a deal, in that case, put those guys in a room, shut the door, and let them talk. Let them hash it out, which never happened, right? But here, you know, if you're Saraya / Paige, would you want to come back now knowing that he's there? I mean, of course, I don't think they signed him to spite her because the timing of all this is what it is. But again, if you're her, would you want to go back? And if you start making exceptions for talent because of past history and stuff, well, then you're going to have to do that for a whole lot of people. I wouldn't do that for anybody. If it's me and it's not, I get it. I wouldn't do that for anybody. You can either get along and work together or you can't. If you can't, I don't need you. That's how I feel. Like, they just signed him back. They wouldn't miss him if they cut him right now. And they're not missing her right now. And I know I'm talking out of one side of my mouth here, and that's it. But like, again, if you guys can't work together, if people can't work together, maybe you shouldn't be on the same roster. Because you're, as the boss, as the booker, you're making exceptions. Making exceptions. It's ridiculous. What you guys think about Samoa Joe and Claudio? Dude, I was so here for that Wednesday night. That was just fantastic. Some of the best stuff I've not ever seen, but just a great match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love Powerhouse Hobbs coming out at the end and firing up the crowd. That was pretty awesome. Rhino coming back and facing Nick Wayne. It was fine. And he's coming back. He's getting NWA World Heavyweight Championship shot against who's their champ? Thomas Latimer. Rhino hadn't changed too much, has he? He looks kind of like the same guy. I like Rhino. I'm good for him. You know what I mean? As long as he can still get up and do it, he can still go, it's fine, right? JP says that was an epic match. Yeah, Joe and Claudio, fantastic. Really good. What about the beef online? First of all, we had two different beefs. We had Javon Evans and Ricochet going at each other. And then everybody, because Shelton said what he said about Hogan. I could not have been happier that Shelton said what he said about Hogan. Let me say for the record, because, I said before, I don't like to slander, and I'm not here to slander anybody. I got no time for Hulk Hogan. If you got a special place in your heart for Hulk Hogan and you think that he's the classic of all time and he's to be held on a platform, brother, you and I could not disagree more on that at all. Like, that guy, to me, the business doesn't need him anymore. It hasn't needed him in a long time. He's stunned when he comes out and gets booed. He is stunned. Why? Why are you stunned? You know why he's stunned? Because he can't get anything through his head. Because Hogan probably surrounds himself with people who tells him everything he wants to hear. He lives in an echo chamber, and that's how he operates. And he doesn't see what the truth is. The truth is, you're not the best dude ever. The stuff you've said, the stuff you've done, come on, man. In my opinion, business doesn't need Hulk Hogan. It's me talking. And I'm not going to sit here and pay tribute to somebody knowing the true colors. Well, Tom, back in the day, I don't care about any of that. Back in the day, back in the whatever, I don't care about any of that stuff. ancient history as far as I'm concerned. There's been a lot happening in this business since the time of Hulk Hogan. Okay. I got no time for it. So every time he does this woe is me stuff. Remember that clip when he said people can forgive Chris Benoit, but they won't forgive him? Are you effing high right now? Are you on paint fumes, Hogan? What are you talking about? By the way, you just compared yourself to a murderer. What is wrong with you? Oh, woe is me. People boo me. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. My God. Kidding me? Was Mox jealous of all the blood spilt in the Eric Young Steve Macklin match? I don't know. You know, we've always teased at the Mox thing about him always getting color, but he doesn't do it like he used to, right? You realize that, right? It's a good joke. I don't know. Maybe so. In my opinion, John wants to be Terry Funk. And that's not to say anything about John. Don't get it twisted. I love John. I really, really do. And I think there's worse things to aspire to be. I think Terry Funk's an all-time legend. And, you know, there's worse things to aspire to be. He says, do you wish that there was more than 24 hours in a day? Why is 24 hours in a day? You're hitting some of these questions I'm getting hit with. I don't have answers to. I'm sure it has something in the way in the way the Earth rotates. Yeah. Well, look. There's a lot of things I question about how things are. Why are certain words, you know, pronounced a certain way when spelled with the same letters and they're not pronounced another way? Like I don't get that. Who determined curse words were curse words? Who determined the F word as a curse word? Who said that? Right? You can Google it. There's answers to this stuff. Everything you're asking, there's answers to this because I've done it before. Who determined the middle finger was offensive, but not like the ring finger? Or who determined the thumb was positive and not offensive? Like, I have a lot of weird questions like that doesn't make any sense. Why are we so offended by nudity in this country? We're so deeply offended by nudity in this country. We're offended at a pop singer with, you know, her hind end hanging out of a whatever she's wearing on stage. Don't watch it. I saw this thing where Lady Gaga, and again, I'm not a pop music fan. I'm not a fan of hers at all. She had Daisy Dukes on and all this talk about her things, her body parts hanging out. Don't look at it. Why are we so offended? I'll tell you why. It's the same reason I told you earlier, because people project their own belief systems onto the rest of the world, and you will be disappointed every single time. That's the problem. That's always the problem. JP done hit it out of the park. The Earth makes it complete. That's it right there. That's your answer. Complete rotation in 24 hours. See? Google is our friend. And JP knew that. Well, he knew it already. He says, why is August the great? Why is August the greatest month ever? Is that your birthday month, E? Is that what you're telling me? Kids, we're almost at the top of the hour here. We've got 4 minutes left till we're going to call it a day and let everybody get to their weekend. There was a comment I was listening to Wrestling Observer, and it was talking about Ospreay not looking the part, that he doesn't, you know, he came out and cut that promo with Heyman. Heyman got a pass because Heyman's cowboy, but Ospreay didn't because Ospreay doesn't dress up. Have we forgotten all the guys who cut promos through the years that don't dress up? How many times in WWE have guys come out in the t-shirt that they're selling and their trunks on and cut a promo? That's okay, right? Dusty came out in cowboy hats and fur coats, or a t-shirt, trucker's hat, or a plaid shirt with a bandana around his neck. That was fine. Nobody had a problem with any of that, but Will Ospreay comes out, you know, maybe that shirt wasn't ironed. We get so bent out of shape out of the weirdest stuff. I'm not saying he doesn't have a point. Dave's been doing this heck of a lot longer than I have and been paid very well to do it as well. What's up, Joe? We were just talking about Joe earlier. Ospreay looks like any lad in Essex on any given weekend. Well, there you go. We got to get jumping on that new show, Joe. We're not even going to reveal the name yet. We're going to do a show on another streaming TV show, I guess. We're going to do another podcast on it, or do a podcast on it. So we're going to announce it very soon. We got to get recording too. We got to get started. I'm the one holding us up. Can I be honest? It's got to get cranking, man. Got to get cranking. We'll do it eventually. Got time. JP says John Cena comes out in t-shirt and jorts every single time. You're right. Those guys in WWE, when they cut the promos, man, they're walking billboards for their merch, aren't they? It's what they do. Got to sell those shirts, man. And in AEW, Danielson come out with white t-shirts. Punk will come out with white t-shirt on. Claudio, white t-shirt. Mox, white t-shirt. I'm like, at some point, put your shirt on, right? Let's sell some merch. I don't mean we should go too crazy, where it's the hat and the shirt and wristbands and a sweatband for your head on your bicep because that's how big your freaking arms are, and a towel. I'm not saying it has to be that crazy, but come on, man. Yeah. Like I said, if we're getting bent out of shape what dudes are wearing when they cut a promo, what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Couple minutes left, kids. Anybody else got anything they want to throw at us before we get out of here and start our weekend? You are more than welcome to do so. WWE creates the Evolve Championships. I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, I'm just not real sure how to feel about it. Wednesday's Evolve episode, the brand's authority figure, Stevie Turner, because this company's obsessed with authority figures, announced the creation of the men's and women's WWE Evolve Championships and revealed details on how the inaugural champions will be crowned. 4-way matches in both the men's and women's divisions will decide the inaugural Evolve champions. Take place on Wednesday, May 28th episode. Wendy Chu, Kali Armstrong and Kendall Gray will compete. And for the men's division, Shawn Legacy is the first wrestler announced for that inaugural title bout, with 3 competitors to be named in the coming weeks. So there you go. Yeah, well, hey. Wednesday nights on Tubi. Godfather or Goodfellas? For a second there, I thought you said Godzilla. I'll vote Godzilla. Can I be honest with you there, Fernando? I got tired of the mob movies, man. They just, one after another. And these are the same cats that come out and talk about comic movies are all the same. And they have fatigue. Comic movies are the same? Are we sure? When every single mob movie had a throwback classic song and, you know, sort of, and now look, I'm not soapboxing. It's just movies and it's not real. But, you know, the heroes of the film are mobsters who were flat out murderers. Like, hey, man, if that's your cup of tea, that's fine. I was never really a Godfather or Goodfellas fan. I've seen them both. I respect them, the movies for what they are. I think they're highly entertaining. They're classics. I can't argue with that. I'm just not a big fan of either one of them. That's me talking. Nando says, better feud Edge and Christian versus the Hardys or Rock and Roll versus Midnight. I say Rock and Roll versus Midnight, but I am very biased because I grew up with Rock and Rolls and Midnights, and there was such emotion in that. And in my opinion, I don't know if there was as much emotion with Edge and Christian versus the Hardys. And I'll say that because times were different. People were in on the joke. They were in on the gag. They knew the trick. The thing had been spoiled by the guy they were all working for who let the cat out of the bag when he admitted it was show business, not pro wrestling. So it was a much different environment. I totally get that. So the Rock and Rolls, the Midnights had an advantage in that regard. But you go back to classic Ricky Morton scrambling to get to that, trying to get out of a hold, and he's bleeding. He's reaching out to the crowd for help. That is some fantastic stuff. And those guys, you know, when it was Dennis and Bobby, it was great. When it was Stan and Bobby, it was also great. Enrique and Robert were great the whole time. Again, I'm biased. JP says mob movies kill everybody and no storyline. And you know, I can't say there's no storyline. There is a storyline. I just never cared about it. That's why I never really got too wrapped up in the whole, you know, the best mob movie of all time, blah, blah, blah. I just never cared too much. That's just me, right? And again, people can like what they want to like. That's all good for me. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us here on the show today. It is the top of the hour. We're going to go start our weekend. But do me a favor, if you will. I'm going to drop it one more time here in the chat, kids. If you will, go right now to the YouTube and subscribe to Boink Studios. The link is right there. You can't miss it. Do me a favor, go subscribe to my channel. I don't blow up your inbox. I won't try to message you or anything crazy. I just upload content. You see my content there. If you'd like to give it a thumbs up, maybe share it, I'd appreciate it. Turn on your notifications when you subscribe. That means loads to me. I do have a new show that's up and running now. The first episode was dropped this week. It's called Tom Clark Reviews. It is a YouTube-only show, okay? It's not going to be on your podcast platforms. It's only going to be on the YouTube. It's a video. It's just myself just talking, and it's very short. It's quick hits, pop culture reviews. That's all it is. Around 10 to 12 to maybe 15 minutes in length is all I'm doing. This first video was about 11 and a half minutes, I think. Tom Clark Reviews is the name of the show. If you go to my YouTube right now, it's the primary video at the top of the screen. Go check it out. While you're there, subscribe to the show. And again, turn on your notifications and like my content. Again, that would be awesome. If you could do that for me, that'd be wonderful. Kids, that's all I've got for you this time. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with us here today. I very much appreciate your time. And we're going to get out of here and start our weekend. Everybody, do me a favor. Have a great weekend out there. Watch you some NJPW Resurgence tonight. Check you out some pro wrestling over the weekend. Everybody be safe out there. Take care of each other. We'll all get through this together eventually. Fingers crossed. Stick together. Don't fight each other. Let's all try to get through it, folks. We are all we have. Trust me. And by the way, there will always be more of us than there will be of them. Okay? So don't ever forget that either. Thanks again, kids, for watching. Check out the content on boinkstudios.com and on the YouTube. I appreciate it very much. And kids, have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.